today. My name's Eric. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to check out my video today. On this episode of Smoking, I'm going to show you how to make Sous Vide Bacon Wrapped Pork Loin. Now this is a real great recipe, only requires a few ingredients. The main thing obviously is a pork loin. Now if you belong to Costco or Sam's Club, you can get these really cheap. I picked this up yesterday, $1.37 a pound. I mean, what kind of meat do you get for that price? Then I picked up a couple packages of this applewood bacon, thick slices here. So, and then of course, you need some kind of rub. I'm going to be trying for the first time this all-purpose rub by Bob's Smokin' Southern Barbecue. They sent me this. I did try their rib rub, and their barbecue sauce came out absolutely delicious. So I'm really anxious to give this a try. But real simple. I'm going to cut this big loin in half. I'm going to season it. I'm going to wrap it up in a bacon weave. I'm going to throw it in a sous vide bag. We're going to cook it for 4 hours. And then I'm going to finish it off with some smoke on my Kettle grill. This is so simple, so easy, yet so delicious. So stick around. I'm going to show you how to make this step by step. Let's get cooking. So the first thing you want to do is take it out of the package, rinse it off with cold water. And like I said, I'm using this Bob's Smokin' Southern Barbecue all-purpose rub. Now you know how this is. This isn't very complicated. We're just going to apply a nice coating of this on all sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll be back in a second. All right, all seasoned up. Now I'm going to show you how to make the bacon weave. Alright, so you want to have some kind of paper to assist you when you roll the pork loin up in the bacon. It makes it much easier. I have some parchment paper, which is what I'd recommend. And so what you do is you lay out enough pieces here, and don't worry if there's a little bit of spacing in between. That's perfectly okay. But long enough to accommodate your pork loin. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to fold up half of these now. Kind of like... you just do it like a little weave here. I've done this in a couple videos, and it's actually pretty easy once you've done it a couple dozen times. But you're going to lay it on top like this. Like so. And then you're going to now do the opposite pieces are going to go up. Like so. And we're going to keep doing this until we get a nice little weave going. Just like so. And I'll continue to do this, and we'll be back in a second. I'll show you how it all looks like when it's all done. Alright, here you go. This is how it should look like when you're done. Not very complicated. So now we're going to take one of the pork loins here, and we're going to kind of put it on the end like so. And this is the part that's the hardest to do. You're just going to kind of roll it over like so. And we're going to try to roll it the other way. Whoops. And it's not necessarily going to... It's not necessarily going to be able to wrap all the way around it, which is fine, because when it's all done, just kind of push down on it to kind of make that bacon stick to that pork loin. There we go. Now let's see if we can unroll this and keep everything intact. Easier said than done sometimes. There we go. I'm just going to see if I can gently lift this. Well, there you go. Perfect. Just like that. Let me get the other one rolled up, and we'll be back in a second. All right, here you go. I got them both wrapped in the bacon weave, and now we're just going to take our seasoning again, the seasoning of your choice, and we're just going to do a light sprinkle on top of that bacon. Now be careful handling this, obviously. If you want, you can always take a toothpick, toothpicks, and kind of stick them in here to hold the bacon in place. Another suggestion that works quite well is that you can put this whole tray in your freezer for around 20 minutes to a half hour. And as it freezes in the freezer, that bacon kind of sticks to the meat a little bit better, and it's a little bit easier to handle, particularly now when we're going to get these in the vacuum sealer bags. Now, you don't have to cook this sous vide. You could throw this right onto the grill or smoker, but in my experience, it's a little bit more difficult because the pork and the bacon typically don't cook evenly and all the way through. You know, you usually remove it when the pork's done, and then maybe the bacon's not crispy enough. So that's where the beauty of sous vide comes in, because we're going to sous vide the bacon and the pork together. Now, normally bacon I sous vide at 147 degrees, but this pork I'm only going to sous vide at 140. So it's not going to be completely cooked, but it's going to be just about cooked. So when I do put it on the smoker, it's just going to have to heat up just a little bit, and then of course I might at the very end put it over direct coals just for a few minutes to make sure that bacon is nice and crispy. So I'm going to go ahead and season this up, and I'm going to individually vacuum seal both of these, and we'll be back in a second when we're ready to throw them into the sous vide bath. All right, here you go. Easier said than done. Thank goodness my wife Monica was here to help me. I didn't put these in the freezer. It probably would have helped, because as I started to slide in, the bacon kind of slid around a little bit, and I used these narrow food saver bags, so I didn't have much clearance. If I had to do it again, I'd probably use the bigger bags, but I have so many of these smaller bags, I figured why not. So one of them, I'm just going to throw into the freezer. I'm only cooking one tonight, and then, maybe a month from now, 5-6 weeks from now, when I'm figuring out what to eat and there's nothing in the house, I'll pull this out and I'll just throw it in the sous vide for around 5 hours and finish it just like I'm going to finish the one that I'm going to be eating tonight for dinner. So that's what's great about doing it like this. Buy one big pork loin and you got 2 separate meals. Now, I could cook both of them and then keep one in the fridge and finish off on the Kettle grill smoking it. But you want to do that probably within 5 days or so. And since I'm not going to be doing it that quickly, I'm just going to throw the whole thing in the freezer. So there you go. I got my sous vide machine warming up. We'll be back in a second and we'll throw it in. All right, my sous vide machine just hit temperature, 140 degrees. Now normally if I'm cooking pork sous vide, I go around 142 to 144 degrees. I'm doing 140 now because I want to have a couple degrees leeway, because when I take this out, I'm not going to ice it off. I'm just going to let it cool at room temperature until my grill's ready, and then I'm going to put it on there, at the lowest temperature as possible, so hopefully it'll absorb some charcoal and wood flavoring and crisp up that bacon. And if I cook it at my normal temperature, I'm afraid I'm going to bring the internal temperature of this higher and it's going to dry out. So I'm doing 140 degrees. You can pick the temperature that you think's best. The new guidelines for pork is 145. So I'll put a temperature probe in it when I put it on the grill, and once it hits at like 143, 144, I'll pull it off, cover it, and let it rest for a few minutes. So there we go, 140 degrees. I'm going to slide this in. I'm going to set the timer for 4 hours. There we go. All right, 140 degrees for 4 hours. So I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my afternoon. I'll meet back with you guys shortly when this is ready to throw on the grill. See you in a little bit. All right, it just beeped. It's been 4 hours exactly. So I'm going to turn this off. There we go. And we'll get this out. Now this should be interesting, trying to get this out and keep the bacon intact. I'm probably going to have to maneuver it a little bit to get it all back in place. But yeah, it definitely looks good. I'm going to carefully cut it along the top of the bag and remove it and put it on a rack. And then I'll go outside and fire up the Kettle grill. I'll just let it sit here and kind of cool down a little bit, since I'm not icing it completely, shock chilling it. And it's going to drop probably quite a bit in temperature. So when I put it on, hopefully it'll allow it to stay on a little bit longer and absorb a little bit more of that smoked charcoal flavor. So let me get this opened up and we'll be back in a second. All right, it was a lot easier to take it out of the bag than I thought. And I did apply a light coating again of the seasonings here, because some of it got obviously poured off with the liquid. But yeah, it seems like the bacon kind of, as it was cooking in there, kind of wrapped around it pretty tightly. And I know once I get this on the grill and it starts to warm up a little bit, that bacon will hopefully pull a lot tighter. But there it is. It's looking good. It smells good. I'm going to go outside. I put it on a nice little rack here so I can carry it and not hopefully have the bacon fall off. So I'm just going to leave it on this rack and put that whole rack right on the Kettle grill. I'll meet you guys outside. I'll get that fired up and we'll go from there. I just want to show you how I set up the Kettle grill here. I'm doing kind of the snake method. I got 3 rolls of charcoal kind of shaped in a U along the far side. I put a pan in there with some warm water. I'm going to put the pork over the pan, and I'm going to start the fire on one end so it'll slowly burn. And I got some apple and hickory wood chunks on top there to give a nice level of smoke during the whole time. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my my little propane torch just to kind of light it up. The charcoal on this side. I don't want to use a chimney, obviously. So I'm just going to start like 2 or 3 charcoals on this side and let it burn for a couple minutes to get it going. So we'll be back shortly. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to put the pork on. Like I said, look how easy it is when you have a little rack like this. You don't have to worry about it. And then I'm going to put a temperature probe just so I can keep track of the temperature. I think I'm just going to go straight in the side here. We're going to go straight down. Just like that. And I also have one for the temperature of the grill itself. We're just going to put the lid on there and we're just going to let this come up to temperature. Alright, beer review time. Goose Island Beer Company. This is a hoppy, grapefruity, refreshing IPA. So that's what I'm going to try. And my son Kyle, say hi. Hi, Kyle.
Hi.
He's going to be trying something that he has never tried. I've never even heard of it. This is Jackson Hole Soda Company High Mountain Huckleberry old-fashioned soda. I don't even know what huckleberry is.
I don't think that's even a thing.
Well, it must be a thing. So he's gonna try that. So High Mountain Huckleberry.
I think they just made up huckleberry, and then it's.
No, it must be. It must be a real thing.
I don't think so.
Well, let's check it out. All right. Now I gotta make a confession. I tried Goose Island beer before. In fact, I went back and looked at my videos. It was my very first video I did with the pit barrel cooker. It was a pit barrel cooker review video with baby back ribs. I'll leave a link below. But I did a review of this exact same beer. And normally I try not to do double reviews, obviously. I always want to try something different. But what threw me off is they changed the logo and they changed the 12-pack. So when I saw it in the store, I said, Goose Island, oh yeah, I tried their beer, it's really good. Oh, they got an IPA. So I bought it because this is a brand new label. And then when I tried one, I went, wait a minute, this tastes like the old one. And then I remembered, I think it was a pit barrel video, and I went and looked at it, and good enough. So I apologize, but I liked it then. I'm sure I'm going to like it now. So here we go, Kyle. Cheers. Let's give it a little smell. This smells grapefruity, a little bit of hoppy. Smells good. How about you?
I can't really describe what it smells like. It smells like something strong, and it makes me like...
Oh, it's sweet. I smell sweetness. All right, well, here we go.
Yeah, I can't smell it for that long.
All right, well, cheers. I hopefully you like it. Cheers, guys. As always, I appreciate you watching my video. Yeah, this is good. Very good. Little bit of sweetness in the beginning, but then follow through with a little bit of hoppiness, slight bit of bitterness, but it's very smooth, very drinkable. What about yours, Kyle?
How's it tastes like a mix of like boysenberry and what do you call it?
Boysenberry.
It's like a mix of like boysenberry and raspberry.
Oh. Well, maybe that's what a huckleberry is. Maybe it's related to the boysenberry. We go to Knott's Berry Farm. We have season tickets over here in Buena Park, California, and they're the ones that make the Knott's jams. It's an amusement park too, but they have boysenberry, everything. They have boysenberry barbecue sauce, boysenberry soda. They actually have boysenberry days. And I have to admit, boysenberry is pretty tasty. So what do you think, compared to like root beer or some of your other sodas?
It It's a really good soda, but I can probably confirm that huckleberry is not a real berry now.
Why is that?
It doesn't taste like a berry.
Alright, well, we'll have to look it up online.
And plus, if you were to like zoom in or something,
on the here.
On the
well, that's the calories.
thing, it doesn't say huckleberry anything.
Carbonated water, sugar, natural and artificial flavors, citrus acid, and some caffeine-free. Yeah, maybe it's not. Best named soda in the whole darn country, it says. Brewed and bottled in the USA. Well, whatever. It smells kind of good, but I think you're right. It does kind of smell like boysenberry.
I'm gonna look it up when we are done with this, and we'll leave it at the end. And
yeah, we'll look it up and see if huckleberry is a real thing. As always, guys, thank you. It's been on 20 minutes, and 149 degrees is what the kettle is, so it's climbing slowly, and the pork's dropped down to 118 degrees. It got real dark real quick. It's supposed to rain late tonight into tomorrow, and I felt a couple drops out there a few minutes ago, so hopefully it's not going to hinder this cook too much, but we'll have to deal with it if it comes. So yeah, hopefully we'll get this up a little bit warmer, and we'll get this pork to absorb some smoke. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my beer. My son Kyle's going to enjoy his huckleberry. Cheers. And we'll see you here in a little bit, guys. Thanks again. Now what I'm going to do is baste it with a little bit of barbecue sauce. I'm using this Bob's Smokin' Southern Barbecue Sauce. I used their rub as well today. I'll leave links below to their website. But yeah, I made some ribs with this sauce, and it was really good. Man, this bacon looks good, but I'm just going to put a little bit on top here, not too much. And I'm just going to brush it on there now for the last part of the cook here. Give it a little bit of that kind of sweet, tangy flavor on the outside. Alright, the alarm just went off. It hit 143. It's at 230 degrees. It's been just about 2 hours, just shy of 2 hours. The first half hour, it needed a half hour just to get enough of the coals going to brought up the temperature. So it took longer than it needed to be, but I was lazy. I put it on before the coals caught on. Oh, look at that. There we go. And then I'll take, just gonna let it go for another few minutes. Here we are. Man, look how wonderful this looks. I'm just gonna cover it with foil for a few minutes before I slice into it. But man, it looks good. It smells good. Be back shortly. All right, it's been covered with foil for around 10 minutes now. Man, it looks good. I think what I'm going to do is just slice it right down the middle, and we can take a look at it. What do you say? Alright. Let's see if I can maybe turn this way so you guys can see. Let's take a look. Oh man, look at that. Look at how juicy. Alright, let's see if we can slice a couple slices off here. Well, the bacon's falling off a little bit, but man, it smells wonderful. Let's see if I can pick up a piece and show you guys. I don't know if you can see how juicy that is. Oh my goodness. That's the benefits of cooking at Sous Vide. Let me slice a little bit more. We'll get the family out here and we'll give it a try. Taste test. Alright, here we are with the whole family. My wife Monica, my son Kyle.
Hi. Hi.
I chopped a bunch of pieces. I have some bacon over here, and I got some of this Bob's Southern Smokin' Barbecue Sauce as well, if you want to dip it.
Before we taste it, I have to say, it smells amazing in here. I can't even begin to explain.
Oh.
It's sweet and spicy
Yeah,
and
nice,
delicious smelling.
Nice and juicy.
So, that's a starter. Now the taste is the second test.
Very good. What do you guys think? I like that sauce too. It's good. Do you try a piece
I don't like
of
to go heavy on the sauce, so we'll just
smoky
do
bacon?
Mm-hmm.
Spicy.
The sauce, it has a little bit of a sweet twang to it. I wouldn't say spicy. It's got a little.
It is spicy. That's why you want to say it.
No.
It is spicy.
It is good though. I think it's got a. It is a little zippy, but it's got
Zippy
a
would be
great.
the
It's
right
got a
word.
great flavor though.
How do you like
And
it
it
with the
grows on
bacon?
you.
You want to eat just a piece with the bacon?
Careful, don't hit your.
I did.
Oh, tell everyone what you found out about huckleberry.
Oh yeah.
Well, they are a thing.
They are a thing.
He did
is
his
a-
research.
He looked online, did the Wikipedia page,
Try one more.
and there is a huckleberry. So there, we stand corrected on that. This is very good.
They basically are just like blueberries. They grow on vines, and they're not vines. They grow on bushes, and yeah, that's about it.
There you go, guys. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. If you like the video, hit the like button. Check out the link above. It's to my website, ericsmokingbarbecue.com. I put all my videos and recipes on there. And I appreciate you watching. We're going to enjoy this. Thanks again, guys. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.